The strongest. What exactly does it mean to be the strongest? Is it to tower over your peers as strength, or be acknowledged and feared by every person you come across? This is very much a main point in Jujutsu Kaisen's story if you are familiar with who I am talking about. I'm referring to Satoru Gojo, a perfect embodiment of the strongest, someone who is respected and feared throughout the Jujutsu society and is pretty much the entire verse itself. Everyone knows not to challenge Satoru Gojo. But although Satoru Gojo is the strongest, that does not necessarily mean that he is exactly undefeated. For an example, Toji himself technically defeated Gojo with his wits and seasoned combat experience alone. Of course, his tools played a major part in why he even won, but what I'm trying to say is that even the strongest can be brought down to their knees. Another really good example is Gojo's fight with Sukuna, which he loses to Sukuna due to another showing of pure cunningness and seasoned combat. In the entirety of their fight, it looked as if Gojo would win, but he ended up losing due to Sukuna using his advantage to his peak and using Mahoraga as a stepping stone to evolve his own new technique to cut the world itself, which inevitably caused Satoru Gojo's defeat. So even though Gojo was known as the strongest, he was still defeated by two individuals who just thought of a plan to defeat him. But what I want to do in today's video is create a sorcerer that is strong, that no amount of planning can stop him. Building the strongest Jujutsu sorcerer, and how we will do this is we would take something from characters, let it be their physicals or cursed energy, to build the overall strongest sorcerer. To make this somewhat fair, so I can't just take all the Gojo and Sukuna stats, you can only use one character stats in a category once and they cannot be used again. For example, to clarify, if I give my sorcerer in question Gojo's strength, we move on to speed, I also can't give them Gojo's speed, if that makes sense. If you guys seen on the thumbnail, Geto is on the front, but the figure or person I'll be using to put these stats in is Kenjaku. It's not really important, I just like Kenjaku's design, so I just thought to use him for this. But that's enough, let's get into it. So starting off with physicals. For physicals, I chose none other than Maki. Now for why I chose Maki is pretty easy, since her heavenly restriction allows her broken physicals that go beyond just curse energy reinforcement. Her raw durability is able to allow her to even tank black flashes from Sukuna himself, and her physical should allow her the advantage against most opponents, but at the worst case scenario, her physicals at least allow her to go low and relative with whoever she is fighting. People might ask why I did not choose Toji, and that is because I do believe that Maki is physically better than Toji just due to her training and having better feats, that I just don't think Toji could even accomplish in the slightest. So yeah, she is my pick for physicals. Moving on, next we have got intelligence or battle IQ. Now there's a few contestants for this, but since I can only use one, I ended up picking Kenjaku himself. Kenjaku is one if not the most intelligent character in the series, planning and technically birthing Yuji himself to be strong via having the soul of Sukuna's twin brother. Kenjaku is also pretty skilled in combat technician on the levels of Sukuna and Gojo, you could say, at least when it comes to battle IQ. Kenjaku was smart enough to survive and figure out a plan to evade Yuki's black hole, which should have killed him. He is also very highly intelligent when it comes to Jujutsu sorcery as well, so he's pretty high knowledgeable as well, so I feel like he is the perfect pick for this choice. The next stat we are going over is curse energy, which would be the amount of curse energy the character will have for this stat. I picked Yuta, of course. Yuta is very notorious for his cursed energy amount, having more cursed energy than Gojo himself and majority of characters in the series. Yuta is most likely, besides Sukuna, the best choice for this pick, since he is the only person we get confirmation on that has more cursed energy than Yuta. So that is my pick for cursed energy, which brings us to a familiar stat, which is cursed energy type, which I am taking Hakari's rough cursed energy, which allows him to hurt people with his attacks regardless of how much power is put behind them, which is pretty useful to cause damage without having to exert the user. Usually compares this to a serrated bat. So I will take that from Akari and move on, since there's not much else to touch up on in that category. Now moving on to the most important and last point, starting off with the curse technique. Now with this one, I was kind of just debating with myself on the two choices. I wanted to see which option would be better, but I soon came to the conclusion the curse technique I picked is Limitless. This is of course Gojo's curse technique, which, just to not overly complicate it, let's just say we don't need 6 eyes to use it. Limitless would allow access to Infinity and Lapse Blue and Reversal Red and even Hollow Purple. Attacks that are pretty powerful, covered by a defense that is practically unstoppable. So I thought Limitless would be the perfect choice for a curse technique, just like Gojo hypothetically. The user could also amp themselves with blue to make them go way faster, just like Gojo himself did in the Sukuna fight. And lastly, for the domain, which is none other than Malevolent Shrine, which is Sukuna's domain expansion. I chose this domain just from how flexible it is with binding vows and how powerful with the range. Being considered a divine domain refined to the highest degree. Malevolent Shrine is pretty versatile in range and power, as it can really just rain down slashes on you until you die, and just get cut until you're nothing, being a guaranteed hit domain. That would sum up my attempt at building the strongest character in Jujutsu Kaisen and the Jujutsu Kaisen verse, using the characters themselves to build an all-powerful, super special grade sorcerer. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and it was pretty fun for me building this character, but I want you to leave your thoughts in the comments and let me know if I could have done anything better, or do you guys think that I could have made the character stronger in some other way possible too. There is more Jujutsu Kaisen videos coming up really soon, and I can't wait to tackle them all with, some of the creative ideas I have and the creative topics I want to talk about. But hope you guys show this video some love. But that's all for now, and I will see you guys in the next topic. Peace.